He's back. Donald Trump joins us on the line. Donald, good morning to you. Glad you're back with us and glad we're friends again.
Well, we are friends, Steve. We've always been friends, and it's great to be back with you.
Thank you very much. It's good to have you on this rainy day in New York City. You're gassing up the 757 today. Where are you going?
Going to Michigan today. We have a tremendous crowd tonight, fantastic crowd and great people. And I love Michigan, and we're doing very well up there. We're doing sort of well everywhere. It's been amazing. But I'll be in Michigan tonight, and we're going to have a little fun. I'm making a speech.
Okay. You're doing very well in Iowa post-debate. Triple P, which is a left-leaning poll, just come out with new poll results. You're on top once again at 19%. Scott Walker, who had 23% not long ago, has dropped 11. He's followed by Ben Carson, Jeb Bush, Carly Fiorina, and Ted Cruz. What is going on with you in Iowa?
Well, Scott was going to be sort of the leader in Iowa, and the common wisdom was that Scott would win Iowa because he's from the adjoining state, and, his numbers are not good in the adjoining state. He's got a $2.2 billion deficit. They predicted that he'd have a big surplus of about $1 billion, and it's $2.2 billion in losses and deficit, and their unemployment numbers are bad, and the state's, I think, mired in the 38th place, 38 out of in the country in terms of productivity and lots of other things, and doing poorly in job numbers. So his numbers are not good, and of course there's tremendous dissension. I mean, they have been fighting. I like Scott Walker. I've supported Scott Walker. In fact, I financially supported Scott Walker. He came up to my office. He gave me a beautiful plaque recently, obviously before this whole thing. But his numbers have been very bad in Wisconsin, and they've got a lot of problems.
I'm sure you're going to be talking about that out on the trail. Over the last couple of months, people have worried in the Republican Party, well, if he doesn't get the nomination on this side, he might jump and become an independent. A senior advisor told ABC that if you didn't win the nomination on the Republican side, you would seriously consider promising not to run as an independent. That was a story out there yesterday. I know you were here last week saying the reason you held up your hand at the debate was because you needed that leverage. So is there a possibility you would pledge not to run as a third party eventually?
Well, first of all, Steve, it's amazing how many so-called senior advisors I have, okay? I think you know me well enough. And everybody's a senior advisor and a long-time advisor. Roger Stone's a nice guy, but I let him go because I really wasn't using them. And he liked to get a lot of publicity for himself, which I didn't want. I want to get publicity on making America great again. That's the only publicity I want, making America great again. So we're going to keep the door open. We're going to see what happens. That was a totally false report put out by ABC. They got it from somebody, I guess, maybe. But it was a totally false report, and a lot of people were calling and asking. I'm going to keep the door open. We're going to see. I want to run as a Republican. I'm leading in every poll. Big one poll came out yesterday. I'm at 32% and nationally, and that's what I want to do. I want to run as a Republican, but I do want to keep that door open in case I don't get treated fairly.
All right. Meanwhile, on the other side, Hillary Clinton is leading the Democratic pack. At the debate, you were asked about, Hillary and how you had given her campaign and the foundation some money, and you said she wound up coming to your wedding because of that. She responded yesterday at a high school in Exeter, New Hampshire. Here's what she said. Listen to this, Donald.
I didn't know him that well. I mean, I knew him. I knew him, and I happened to be planning to be in Florida, and I thought it'd be fun to go to his wedding because it's always entertaining. Now that he's running for president, it's a little more troubling.
So she's saying she went because it was the yucks, not the bucks.
Yeah, it sounds like she feels she made a mistake. It's sort of an interesting thing. Now, look, I give to everybody. When I was a businessman, as of about 2 months ago, I became maybe a different kind of a person. But, my life is much different now. I'm running for office. I've never done that before. But, for my whole life, I've been a business person. I would give to everybody, Steve, everybody. And frankly, people treated me very nicely. They always returned my calls, et cetera, et cetera. And that's not really a good thing for the system. I mean, the system is based on that. When I look at Bush raising $114 million, everybody that gave him money, every single one of those people that gave him money is getting something. Okay, I guarantee you that. I know half of the people. Probably I know all of the people. I used to be those people. I used to be I'd give to everybody. Bush has raised a lot of money. Hillary's raised a lot of money. A lot of these people have raised a lot of money. Those people that put up the money, those are not people that are not expecting big, big things. And some of those things are counter to what's good for the country. Believe me, they are. Mm-hmm. And, I don't need money. I'm running my own deal. I don't want anything. I have no special interests behind me. I have no lobbyists. I hire lobbyists. I have lobbyists calling me all the time. Any way you want to be involved, I say, I do not want your money. Do you understand that? So I can do what's right for the country, Steve.
Well, let's talk about our money. On the left, they're talking a great deal about income inequality. What about income tax inequality? If Donald Trump were president of the United States, what kind of a tax plan would you like to see move forward in the country?
Okay, you have so many different plans, Steve, and you have the fair tax, and you have the flat tax, and you have the current system, but it's too complicated. Frankly, what we should do is start off by simplifying our current. We can start it off by simplifying our current system. Put H&R Block out of business. Knock them out. Put them out of business. A simple return. People have to go out and pay a lot of money to get help to fill out their tax returns. And I'm talking about a simple return. We have to simplify our code. We have to bring down taxes, but we have to simplify our code, Steve. It's too complicated. You can't do it. You have to go. In my case, I have lawyers all over the place. I have accounting firms all over the place. Everybody. You have to simplify this tax code. And from that point on, you can maybe do something else. But before we do anything, simplify it. Make it nice and easy for people to understand and reduce taxes.
Okay. You've also, final issue we're going to talk about, ISIS is not only a problem abroad, but it's a problem here at home as well. We see these lone wolves. You have made it clear if you were president of the United States, you would use force to go after them. Somebody who is a fan of your approach is Rob O'Neill, the man who killed Osama bin Laden. Listen to this.
Someone like him that speaks like him would be smart enough to be able to hit him on many different fronts, but most importantly, meet force with force at the point of origin and just show them what we can do to them.
Okay, so is that accurate? You would use force at the point of origin? Are we talking about boots on the ground?
Well, first of all, that's a great compliment coming from him because I've been watching him and he's terrific. I will tell you this. I was not a fan of going into Iraq. You guys know that very well because I said it was going to destabilize the Middle East, and I was right. And that was 2004 I said that and took a lot of heat for it. But I was totally against it, and yet I'm the most militaristic person there is. But I wasn't a fan. Now that we're there, and you have these guys chopping off Christians' heads and everybody else's heads, and lots of other bad things happening, and they will come for us if we don't come for them. I say, cut them off where they're getting their wealth. Cut them off at the oil. I said keep the oil because somebody else will take it, Steve. I said it on your show many times.
You did.
Guess who took it? ISIS took it. And by the way, Iran is taking it. Everybody's taking it but us. We spent $2 trillion, thousands of lives, incredible wounded warriors. I love the wounded. These people are incredible. But wounded warriors all over the place. And we got nothing. We have nothing. They don't even answer our phone calls anymore. Iran is taking over Iraq 100%, just like I predicted years ago. So I say this. I didn't want to go there in the first place, but now we take the oil. We should have kept the oil. Now we go in, we knock the hell out of them, take the oil. We thereby take their wealth.
Right.
We take all their wealth, Steve. They have so much money. They have better Internet connections than we do in the United States. They're training our kids through the Internet. We have to knock out their wealth. The other thing, through Saudi Arabia, Steve, through Saudi Arabia and other places, tremendous money is flowing, and we have to stop that flow of money. But take the oil, knock the hell out of them.
Use force. That's the message regarding ISIS. All right, Donald Trump, thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank you very much, Steve.